Well, thanks so much for Nick Ogden, who joined us to talk about the 25th amalgamation of the city of Quinte West. And now we're going to go on to the farm in Caring Place. Joining us is Brittany Denowden. So Brittany, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
So what's the name of your ostrich farm and how do you get into this line of work?
Yeah, so the name of our farm is Struisvogel Ranch. We often will just say Struisvogel. It's a little bit easier. But it's a Dutch word which means ostrich. So basically we're an ostrich ranch in Prince Edward County.
How did you get into raising ostriches specifically in this line of work?
My husband and I went to South Africa for 1 year. It had nothing to do with ostrich farming, but South Africa is one of the top countries for ostrich farming. So we visited farms while we were there and we did a tour. And we rode an ostrich, we tried ostrich meat, we stood on an ostrich egg, we watched ostriches race, kind of did the whole package deal experience. And we just kind of fell in love with the farm and just thought, wow, this is quite interesting. So different from your beef, your pork, and your chicken kind of farms. And it was just an idea that never left our mind. And we just thought this is a great business idea and a great farming idea. And it's, yeah, one of those things that never left our mind. And we decided, hey, we're going to start this one day. It took a lot of saving, a lot of time and a lot of research. But 13 years later, we kind of started it up and here we are today. Yeah.
So where is the farm based and how long have you been operating?
We started, I guess, right in the middle of COVID, 2020 is when we bought our first ostrich chicks and first started. And then we didn't open to the public until September of last year. So we were open for about a month and then we were open once a week, mainly for just meat sales through the winter. And so we're really kind of revving up and just starting since Easter weekend. So it'll be our first spring and summer in 2023 where we're open Thursday through to Monday and full-time hours, and we're ready for a busy spring and summer, hopefully.
So how many ostriches do you have?
We have around 50 right now. So we have 18 breeders. Ostriches live until they're 70 years old. So these are kind of our 18 birds are ones that we name. We're going to keep for a lifetime. So we have those 18, and then we have about 30 of chicks that we hatched last year ourselves. And so they're around 4 to 7 months old. And so that brings us to around 50 birds.
So how big do they get, Brittany? Describe us kind of their personalities.
Yeah, they each have their own personality for sure. Some ostriches are more friendly than others, but generally they are all quite friendly. Like any livestock, the males during springtime you kind of want to avoid, but yeah, they each have their own personalities, and but otherwise they're quite social, quite friendly. They love visitors. Yeah.
So you're raising them primarily for meat. How does it work from the logistics side of things?
Yeah, that's right. We may raise the birds for the meat, and that's kind of why we got into it, is for the meat. When we tried the meat, we were just astounded how great it tasted. So it's like your filet mignon, like your nicest cut of beef for all your cuts of ostrich. And the environmental aspect is amazing too with the meat, like less feed per pound, less land needed, less water needed. So to raise this kind of red meat makes a lot more sense environmentally. And also it makes a lot more sense health-wise. It has practically no fat at all, very lean red meat. More iron and more protein than your chicken and beef. So it's kind of like your bodybuilder's meat. And so that's, yeah, one of the main reasons we got into it is to raise the birds for this delicious, tender, healthy red meat.
Where can we find it locally, Brittany?
You can buy it from us right at our farm. So we've got freezers full, all the different cuts. We also have hamburger, we have boerewors, which is a South African sausage made from ostrich meat as well. We have lasagnas made up, hot pies with it. We have the big, huge bones, ostrich dog bones, you can have for your dogs. Yeah, and the fan fillet, the best cut of ostrich meat, we have that as well. So you can buy it right from our farm. And you can also find it in some local county restaurants now. They're having it on their menu. So if you'd rather not cook it yourself and try it for the first time with a chef cooking it, that might be a great option too.
Nice. Do ostriches require a lot of care and maintenance and upkeep, especially like with the avian flu right now? Like, is that something that they're impacted with?
No, and that's what's so amazing about these birds, is they have an amazing immune system, and I think that's why they do live till they're 70 years old, and why they're such an ancient bird. Like, even if you look at their feet, you can tell they've been around for a long time. So they do have an excellent immune system. They're not susceptible to the typical flus and sicknesses that most birds will have. So yeah, they're a really easy bird in that sense to take care of. We don't need to give any hormones and any antibiotics, any vaccines to our birds. They are really naturally, amazingly healthy. And as far as the care, kind of like any livestock, I guess, the most difficult thing is your fencing. You need that high fencing and that strong fencing to keep those 250-pound birds from pushing up against it. And so I think the fencing is the main part. And yeah, just big fields, lots of space for them to run around. And yeah, they're quite easy to take care of. And even the new chicks, when they hatch out of the egg, they're walking around as soon as they get out of the egg, and they instinctively learn to feed on their own. So they don't need their mama hen. And so they're quite a easy bird in that sense to take care of.
Neat. Well, speaking of walking, how can we all get out and meet your ostriches for folks who've never met them before?
Yeah, we offer, we call it an ostrich walk. And so it's a self-guided tour. We have signs all around the store as well as all around the fencing, where you'd walk to see the birds, and it gives you a bunch of information. You can see the eggs in the incubator right from inside the store. You can also, we've got a screen up there now, so you can watch when the chicks are hatching. You can watch the chicks hatch. You'll be able to see them coming out of the eggshell. We have our brooder room, which would be in another month or two, will be full of baby little ostrich chicks in there. So you can see that. And then that's kind of all in the store. Then you can make your way outside and read a bunch of signs along the way about the birds and the farm. And we give you cups of feed, and you can put them in a big long pole. It's not super nice to feed them right from your hand, but you can. And if you want to pet the birds, you can. It's just they like to peck you too, so you just got to watch yourself. But yeah, you can feed the birds and stand on an ostrich egg. We put a real ostrich egg out there halfway on your ostrich walk. You can stand on it, and it'll take up to 250 pounds. So it makes for a good picture to stand on an ostrich egg and take a picture. And yeah, those tours run Thursday through to Monday. We're just closed on Tuesday, Wednesdays. We're open 11 till 5. And it's $5 a person, tax included, and you have your feed included as well.
Neat. Well, thanks, Brittany. Really appreciate it. For more information about the farm and your story, where does everyone go, especially if there's social media?
Yeah, so we have a website, struisvogel.ca, or if you just type in the Google Ostrich Ranch, we should come up. We also are on Instagram, on Facebook, starting to get a little bit into TikTok. So trying my best to keep up with all the social media. But yeah, probably Instagram's your best bet. It'll have the most updated information, and then we also would update on there when chicks are hatching and any new things going on our ranch.
Well, thanks, Brittany. This has been fun. Good luck with everything, and really appreciate you taking the time.
All right, thank you for having me.